Hello everyone, it's Shane Kanto, your Wasteland reviewer, and I'm here to review Boris Karloff, the man behind the monster. And this new documentary is from writer-director Thomas Hamilton, and is your pretty straightforward, traditional documentary where we get to get a lot of perspective on the long, decades-spanning career of Boris Karloff, who many primarily know as Frankenstein's monster from James Whale's Frankenstein. But there is so much more to his career and his level of acting and the subtlety and the talent and the diverse skills that he had as an actor that I don't think many mainstream people quite understand and grasp or know. And that's probably the biggest thing I appreciate about this film is how it's able to really capture the breadth of Karloff's career and his talents and what he was able to bring to the table as an actor in terms of all the different things that he did. I've certainly added a couple of films to my watch list after watching this documentary, being enticed by the films that they were talking about that I had never seen. I've heard of, but I've never taken the time to actually check them out, like The Black Cat. And now I'm like, I want to check this out. And you have Cat People that they spoke of as well. There's a lot going on in this film. And I have to say, the narrative choice to jumble everything up, because it's not told in a linear fashion. At the beginning of the film, you really just jump right into his big roles, and then you jump all the way back to like him growing up and all of his backstory. And it wasn't even just like, here's a couple minutes setup of who Karloff we know as, and then jumping back and going forward. It's a bit messy narratively. And I think that's one of the biggest drawbacks to this film, besides the fact that, like, this is a very just traditional documentary. There's nothing particularly interesting you're going to find from a filmmaking standpoint. It's a lot of just camera on interviewee and splicing in shots of Karloff and what he was doing. I think a lot of people would just be like, this is something like you watch on, like, A&E or something like that. And to be frank, this does seem like something that you'd find as a TV documentary to talk about this famous actor. And when the narrative's shuffled up a little too much, it could be a little disorienting. But the quality of the perspective that you get from historians and filmmakers, some of the real standouts, John Landis and Guillermo del Toro were some of the best interviewees. You get a lot out of their perspectives on things. I think John Landis popped up a lot, and I really appreciated what he was talking about. You even had moments from like Ron Perlman and Peter Bogdanovich and Roger Corman and Joe Dante, and you get a lot of different perspectives from his career, some of them a little bit more apologetic for some of the Stranger, like the Fu Manchu film. And you do get some to give that perspective of like, this is hard to watch now, this was really ill-conceived, and even I appreciated some of the clips they even had of Karloff. Like, there's an audio clip of him talking about how absurd and terrible and how that film never should have been made. And those are the special moments when you actually get to hear from him. And this film might not blow you away from how it tells its story or from a technical standpoint, but it's such a compelling story about such a compelling actor who is a mystery to many people besides being the Grinch and Frankenstein's monster. But he was such a talented actor with versatility and intelligence, and I feel like this documentary helped me realize how much of a great talent he was and how I want to check out more of his work besides him just being the creature. So I think this documentary really does its job in trying to compel you to think broader, see broader, and check out more of his films and the breadth of his work so you can really appreciate him to the fullest as an actor. So kudos to Hamilton and his film because it accomplished what it needed to do. being a straightforward, by-the-numbers kind of documentary. And in the end, it's perfectly fine if you enjoy watching it. That's what really counts, and that you get something out of it. And I sure did. But those are my thoughts on Boris Karloff, the man behind the monster. Let me know what you think, and let's talk some movies. But thank you as always for tuning in and supporting your Wasteland reviewer.